Hello, it's Jamie J with live with Bottleneck, where we're here to help stop the bottleneck in your business. We're not here to talk to me today. We're here to talk to the one and only Mitchell Levy, and we're going to be talking about how to be a credible thought leader. Gold. I'm telling you, it's gold. We'll be back in about 38 seconds to kick this off. Well, hello. Welcome to Live with Bottleneck, where I love inviting the smartest people that I know to help stop the bottleneck in your business. And Mitchell Levy is definitely fits the bill when it comes to being uber intelligent and knowing what's going on in business today. And I cannot recommend what he does enough. And we're going to be stepping into that and learning a little bit more about who Mitchell is. And of course, as you know, stopping the bottleneck in your business is usually you. It's me. It's the leaders of the organization. For some reason, we can't seem to get out of our own way. But there is hope. There is a chance. There is an opportunity for you to overcome or jump over these hurdles that are placed in front of you by really taking a moment and listening to what our guest experts have to say. If at any time you have any questions or comments for Mitchell, please ask away, whether you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitter, Periscope, anywhere you're at, ask away. Don't lurk. Put yourself out there. Mitchell will jump on that for you. If for some reason you're catching this in the replay, go ahead and ask away, and I will forward your questions to Mitchell. He's a great guy, and I know he's going to be excited to answer your questions. So Mitchell Levy is a CEO of Think Aha, How to Be a Credible Thought Leader. And why is he here today? Well, global credibility expert Mitchell Levy, and I say pronounced Levy because at the first time I met him, I called him Levy, and it should be Levy out of respect for him. He's a TEDx speaker and an international best-selling author of over 60, that's 60, not 60 books. His superpower is extracting the genius from your head in a 3-hour interview so that his team can ghostwrite your book, publish it, distribute it, and make you an Amazon bestseller author in 4 months. He's an accomplished entrepreneur who has created 20 businesses in Silicon Valley, including 4 publishing companies that have published over 850 books. He's provided strategic consulting to over 100 companies and has been chairman of the board of a NASDAQ-listed company. Woo! Mitchell has been happily married for 30 years and regularly spends 4 weeks in Europe with family and friends. So without any further ado, please allow me to introduce you to the one and only Mitchell Levy. How are you, sir?
Jamie, I'm great. I think in my current bio, I take out that last sentence, unfortunately, because with Corona, we couldn't go this year. Like the boo-hoo,
Yeah.
I had to say it's one of those things I didn't even post on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, guys, normally you'd see pictures from me in the month of June. And I just, it just didn't seem important to say, there were so many worse things in the world, but anyhow, thanks. Great to be here. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I've been chatting with you for a while now, and I am continually impressed with everything that you do and the way you go about taking on new challenges. I just look up to you, and I respect the fact that you do that, because a lot of people say they're going to do something and they never do. And it's little things. It's either reading a book or it's just taking something and just running with it. And so I respect the living daylights out of you for that. And I think it's fantastic. But for those people that may be watching and or listening, I wonder if maybe you can kind of introduce yourself and tell them a little bit more about you. And then I want to jump into being what credibility means to you and all this cool stuff that you have going on around that word, credible.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's I think the best way to think about who I am is through the concept that I want people to be thinking about is the CBOP, your customer point of pain. And and you could go to, if you go to the URL that will be shared at the end, mitchelllevy360.com. One of the things I'll point to is a series of words that I'm inventing. One is CPOP, customer reported pain. And for me, it's humans that want to be seen as credible. So the question becomes, what does that mean? So I'm helping to redefine what that category is. What are some words that help better describe it? And then in terms of bottlenecks, what you always have to think about is what's important to you in terms of solving or serving your client base. And based on that, what things should you be doing and what things should you not be doing? So for instance, if you make a decision that you need a book, typically it takes 320 hours to write and publish a book. With us, you need 10. So the thing is, if you let us, so you pay us money, 4 months down the road, we will interview you. I spend a 3-hour interview to pull the genius out of your head. We will ghostwrite, publish, distribute, make you Amazon best-selling authors in paperback, hardcover, Kindle, Audible version. Here's the interesting part. If you're paying us and spend only 10 hours, what I'm really doing, or what you're doing, is you have a time in life that you're buying 310 hours back in your life. Do you use it effectively? Right. And so what needs to happen is you don't just get a book and say, okay, I'm not going to do anything. You get a book, you spend that 310 hours marketing yourself with a book. So whether it's a book or a credibility sizzle reel or cred reel, or one of the things I've done to make life really simple is I'm in the middle. Actually, I guess I'm close to the end. 477 interviews out of 500 that I'm focused on pulling together so I could help redefine and bring the world in a new direction in terms of what credibility is. And one of the things that happens is when I meet and interact with somebody, particularly on the interviews, and it is so cool to interact with them. If you went to thoughtleaderlife.com, you could see some of the interviews we've done. So when I get to interview with somebody and I get to see them and they're really robust and they're very powerful and they're very credible, and then I look at their LinkedIn profile and it kind of sucks. Or we'll just say it's very two-dimensional. It doesn't even come close to representing who they are. What I'm going to say is 99.5% of LinkedIn profiles are somewhere on a scale of 1 to 10 or 2 to 3. So I created an online course. It is 1 hour. The goal of the course, from my perspective, completely change your mindset on how you look at a LinkedIn profile for the rest of your month, or you get your money back. And so the type of things that I focus on is I see where those people who need to be empowered to really help them be better. That's the fundamental thing that I focus on. And now I have a framework, and it's that one word. I guess I spoke for about 5 minutes and I should have given you like one word. Who am I? I am all credibility.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, you are in the process right now of taking that word credibility and flipping it on its hindquarters. And I love anyone and everyone that challenges the status quo. Status quo, maybe looking into Webster's dictionary. Yeah, sure, that's a definition. But what is that definition really for you? I'm excited because no matter what kind of research you do, you're going to go and read about it. But that person that wrote that article or that entity or that group put together information. I don't care if they research it in the database or whatever. There is some form of the way that they interpret that information to be. And if there's an opportunity for you to say, you know what? That's not what I believe that to be. All these, I don't care who it is. It could be scholars. It could be anybody. But I love the fact that you challenge the status quo there. That's really important to me. And I think important to a lot of people to let everybody know that you don't necessarily have to follow the leader.
Yes. So as a prelude, the definition of credibility in the dictionary is only 1/3 accurate. Did you want me to give you the other 2/3, or should we wait for the book to come out?
I would love to get the other 2/3.
Okay.
It could be done right here.
Well,
that would be huge.
I will be happy to share. The book that we're doing, so the interviews, I'm actually going to be done with all the interviews in August. And the book, I don't think I've told my team yet, but we'll be done in October. And what I want to say is the definition of credibility today in the dictionary essentially says it's the demonstration of trust. And I'm going to say that is only 1/3 accurate, because I want to add credibility is so much bigger, so much broader, so much robust. It is a way in which we can actually live our lives, where trust is a single component of credibility. So I want to say the definition of credibility is the demonstration of know, like, and trust. So let's talk about know for a second. It's not just that I have been made aware of you. It's not just awareness. It's the fact that I actually understand who you are and are willing to do more with you, because I understand your intent. I understand your commitment. I understand your integrity. And so when we say the demonstration of know, like, and trust, it's simply the world I want to live in. And this is the world that the word credibility done right and propagated throughout the world will help bring about, is the world that we used to live in. And that is when you interact with somebody and you shake their hand, obviously post-COVID, you look them in the eyes and you both agree on something, you actually deliver, if you're the person delivering service, exactly what you say. And the person receiving, they're getting exactly. Now, in a world in which you need contracts, you could still have the contracts, but it's that shaking the hand, it's the understanding, it's the delivering. To me, credibility is, let's give you another manifestation of credibility. It's the fact that when you interact with somebody and you really understand who they are, that you know them, right? The commitment, the integrity, the intent, that you like them. It's been fun interacting with them, that you trust them, that they've been vulnerable, have integrity, have authenticity in such a way that you sort of say, wow, this is somebody that I actually can either be friends with, I can do a business relationship with. Because the most important thing when you're doing a partner deal together is when shit hits the fan, and it always does in every project, you want to make sure that your partner on the other side is delivering you exactly what you would do as well. And you want to feel comfortable that you have a partner that is that type of person. So anyhow, that's a couple thoughts on credibility.
Well, yeah, there's, I think we know each other well enough now to say that, yes, we both belong in this credibility club, and that doesn't, I don't say that lightly. I think credibility is something definitely earned through experience. You can share similar belief systems. You can really enjoy somebody or like somebody, or perhaps take the opportunity to work with somebody or have a client or a service provider, can always have that relationship. But that credibility is something that I believe comes in the forms of testimonials and things like that. Once experienced.
Let me add to that, because I'm
Sure.
still working on all this. So remember, I said the demonstration of know, like, and trust. Here's what's really interesting. You don't necessarily have to like somebody for them to still be credible. And so if what's interesting to me, so let's say I had two people I was looking at, and one I know, liked, and trust, and one I know didn't like and trust. Well, I'm going to go with the one I like. But if it turns out, and what you just said, that the like was demonstrated because their clients have just given some phenomenal testimonials, that they are still credible, and I still may do business with somebody that I don't actually like, but I know what they're going to do is that my clients that I introduce to them are going to like them, right? And so it's kind of there's some nuances in those words and those approaches. And, it is okay for me to look somebody in the eye and say, I don't know if I like you, but I so love how you deal with your customers, and I want you to treat my customers the same way. And that is, honestly, that's a great thing to be able to say, because people know exactly where they are.
Exactly. And vice versa too, I really like you, but I don't want to work with you, so to speak. I've got a lot of friends, God bless them. And I probably wouldn't work with them. Not a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. There's a few that I probably wouldn't work with, but I would love hanging out with,
Oh, it's because there's that no part and the trust part. right? And it could be either that they're not, that there's something lacking in either the know or trust component that you don't necessarily want to expose to your joint clients.
And Eric Wexler, former volleyball pro, love this guy. He says, loving this talk, guys. Jamie's bringing the fresh as always. Well, in this case, it's Mitchell, Aaron bringing the fresh. But yeah, thanks for chiming in. Again, if you have any questions for Mitchell, please let me know. Or let us know right now. If you don't ask again, I will make sure to forward those questions off. I absolutely think right now, because there's so much noise in the world, people are throwing around terms like authentic. They're throwing around terms like trustworthy and know, like, and trust. And some of those very same words that we're talking about right now, I think a big difference is we're diving deep into those words. You're redefining the definition of credibility. And in my opinion, tells me you're really paying attention to what that word means instead of just kind of throwing it lazily across the table there.
Well, notice one thing that was very important in the definition, because it has nothing to do with the words that you say. The thing that I said, in every particular case, it's the demonstration of know, like, and trust.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could say one thing, but if you do something else, you're not demonstrating the right attributes.
Yeah.
And so it's really about who you are. When we get into the next evolution of where we are in humankind, it's one way I'll say it, Jamie, is we currently, some people argue with me, but there's no arguing. We still are in the industrial age today. We have a bunch of technology that allows us to propagate the stupid things that came out of the industrial age, but we're in the industrial age. Now, before the industrial age, we were in a village, and that village economy was kind of cool. So I'll give you an example, my favorite example. So in the village economy, let's say the baker in the village started making bread that either people didn't like, or worse, got a couple people sick. Now, there isn't a baker police that would actually go and monitor the bakery. The village would self-correct. And if the baker never fixed themselves, the village would ostracize.
Bam.
Now, we entered the industrial age. You know what happened? We didn't care about people anymore. We cared about making money, and the nameless, faceless company whose goal was to give you the product or service. And you were they used to say jump, and used to say how high. And where we're moving is, because everything goes in cycles, we're moving to a global village. Now, what needs to happen is technology needs to catch up. I'm going to give you a negative of the global village. We have lost privacy. Let me give you a positive. The positive is the same example that would happen in a village will happen in a global village. If there's a proprietor who, for instance, how many people have you heard, let me create a Facebook funnel for you and you're going to make money hand over fist and you'll be happy for the rest of your life. And then they do it and you spend a lot of money and nothing happens. That type of person should not be able to get their next client. That type of person will not be able to hide in the global village. And so the global village, if you can't hide from the crap that some people deliver, then what's important? Well, you have to demonstrate know, like, and trust. You have to demonstrate credibility so that who wins? The people who you get word of mouth marketing, or if the tools are appropriate, you could say, listen, I need somebody to paint my house that has phenomenal feedback from their customers and actually have turned a couple of them into friends.
Yeah.
You ask that verbally to whatever the search engine is, and they come back and say, hey, I got 5 people. Do you like any of these pictures? Right? It's a different world that we're going to be living in. That's the global village. And so, but there's a fundamental thing that ties it all together. It's credibility. The way that when the book comes out, the book is going to be called Credibility Nation, and it's for humans that want to be seen as credible. And when that comes out, it's going to help us define a way in which we could, I want to say, live. Because if you love what you do, it's no longer work. And so if work equals fun, then you could play all the time. So the book defines the way in which you can live, and living is doing what's passionate about what you do and getting paid for it. So if you want to call it work, that's great, but you need to get paid for things you're doing. But why don't you love what you do?
Yeah, why not? You do so much of it. And I just want to go back to a little bit of credibility here. This was an earlier comment from the one and only good old friend, Matt Johnson here. Mitchell is awesome. That's going to be the great one, talking about this particular conversation. And he says he sent several clients your way and you treated them very well. And they've all seen great results from their book. So I just wanted to share the love there.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Aaron Wexler, he actually has two questions for you. The first one is, would you recommend using your testimonials in your marketing? And how do we do that without coming off self-serving? And then the second question, he says, what's the line in using testimonials and building up your own credibility while staying authentically humble?
They're both actually the same question. And so let me give you a quick answer. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. And let me give you the bigger picture, because I'm still trying to figure all this out. But one of the things that happened is I'm at interview 477, and somewhere around interview 80, I recognized that I could ask for a video testimonial. So I now have 400 video testimonials, and we've been really lax. If you go to thoughtleaderlife.com and click on Get Your Cred Reel, you could see some of the testimonials, and they're phenomenal. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And we've been lax at doing all the things that are appropriate because we have all this great content. So I'm going to say I'm not the expert at how to use your testimonial effectively. But now let me answer your question. If credibility is demonstrating know, like, and trust, by having third parties share content, their reactions and how they interacted with you, what you're doing is getting third party validation for something. Now, one of the things that I didn't realize when I started the interviews is that I have a superpower of clarity. One of the things I'm able to do is just allow people to quickly see their CPOP. Well, I didn't actually recognize that until so many of the testimonials came back and they started using the word clarity over and over. And I started listening to what the other people were saying about me. And so what's appropriate, I guess, when you ask people for testimonials, and this is what I do, and I'll give you my best thing is I say, would you mind doing a video testimony at the end? And no one said no. I mean, zero has said no. And sometimes they just give it. And many times, at least 50, 60% of the time, they say, Mitchell, what do you want me to say? And I have to tell you what I say right then is I say, listen, testimonial should be over 10 seconds and less than 2 minutes. And here's what I'd like to do. I want you to speak from your heart. And here's why. Because if you allow people to speak from their heart, they're talking about what's important to them. I'll let you give a great example of that. Take a look at 3 or 5 different LinkedIn profiles and go to the bottom of the page where they actually have testimonials and read the testimonials given, not what they received. Read the testimonials given. Because if you read the testimonials given, the language that they use is the language that's appropriate to them. So when I ask somebody for their testimonial and I say, speak from your heart, there's a difference then if they're trying to say what they think I want to hear versus when they say what's important to them, because the smile on their face, the authenticity, the glow that comes from that conversation when they're talking from their heart is so authentic, the only word I could use. It's so authentic. You're like, oh, I like this person. I understand it. It's very real. That's another word you could use. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. And let me do one point that I haven't covered yet. As part of the industrial age, we've been kind of taught that if you're a thought leader, you stand on top of the mountain. And when you're standing on top of the mountain, you could bark orders. And so many people were so offended by that. What I want to do is let me read a quote from my book, and then I'll talk about what you should be doing. It's from the book that's associated with my TED Talk, Being Seen and Being Heard as a Thought Leader, and it's aha number 4. And what it says is good thought leaders are at the top of the mountain. Great thought leaders are at the bottom of the mountain, helping others climb up. So A, it's all about servant leadership. B, what's appropriate is if you're talking with somebody and they've done something really amazing, you've done something amazing for them, asking for a video testimonial is absolutely beautiful. And then you need to share those because it is a reflection of how other people see you. And people could tell if it's authentic or not authentic. And I would listen to, I've got some compilation videos now where I'm starting to take some of the testimonials and create a minute or 2-minute testimonial with 4 or 5 people in it. And it is so powerful to hear people talk about you in that way. And I guess you could say, yes, it's self-serving, but if it's self-serving for you, and what self-serving means that when you get hired, you're a servant leader and you're serving others, then don't think about it. It's not you. It's a book's a credibility piece. A testimonial is a credibility piece. Being on a podcast is a credibility piece. And what you need to do is get your audience to hear your CPOP, to hear who you are and what you do in such a way that they then have a conversation. They decide if it's a good fit, and then you could serve them. And so the answer is yes, use testimonials, and yes, make sure you put them out there in such a way that people can actually see you.
Love it. I think it's fantastic. It's pretty easy for me to agree with that because I believe in it. I think it's fantastic. I'm a big fan when people ask for testimonials. I'm a big fan of giving them a bit of structure on how to leave a testimonial. As a matter of fact, one of the pages on our website that we're actually rolling out how to leave a good testimonial. And I think that does 2 good things. Number one, it formats everything in a certain way so that things are similar. So you maintain kind of a seamless workflow from a user's point of view. When they get to listen to these testimonials, they're kind of in the same format. It's easier to comprehend. But number 2 is it relieves a lot of stress from the person that's leaving a testimonial for you. If they're going to leave a testimonial for you, it's because they want to. They feel like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And that is a huge thing to gain a testimonial. And for you to have 400 of them, hats off to you. That's fantastic because you don't see that all the time because most of the time we forget to ask.
Hey, Jamie, let me just point out to the audience something really beautiful. So Jamie agreed with me overall in concept and said that, and then disagreed by saying, oh, by the way, I'd rather have people do structure. And you know what? I didn't feel any ill will. I did not feel uncomfortable in the way that he presented that because he was talking from his heart with integrity and had a solution. And by the way, for those people who do want structure, I'd love to have a quick course that we can actually put on the websites, the communities I'm creating on how to give good testimonials and how to use them. So I just want to say if you're listening to the banter, the interaction, when you know, like, and trust somebody, they don't have to agree with you. It's not about like everyone walking the same line. It's about wanting to deliver value at the end of the day.
So Aaron Wexler says, please leave a link to that book.
Oh, man. So here's what I could say. Go to, and I don't know if this was in the list of links. So it's thoughtleaderlife.com. And there's a button that says research. So keep up to speed with the research. There's an opportunity to give your email address there. And when the book is published, I will send you a PDF version, a free PDF version of that book if you put your name in there. So I'm happy to share. So that's thoughtleaderlife.com. And I can't remember, it's /research. I can.
You might be talking about the book that you showed that quote out of.
Oh, this one. Oh, sorry. If he's talking about this one, this is on Amazon. So just go to Amazon or go to Google and type "being seen and being heard" as a thought leader. You could check out the TED Talk and also the book of the same name.
Thank you so much. Being heard, Amazon. I'm going to see if I can find a link for them really quick so that we can pop that up there for everybody. And here we are. That was pretty quick. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to put it right on here and create a banner. And this one here is for you, Aaron. This is for you.
Thanks for asking. Really appreciate it.
Mitchell's book. There we go. There is the link. And then what I'll do too is I'll go ahead and post this link in the comments sections as well for anybody that wants to go and get Mitchell's book. Pretty amazing there. So that's the link to the book. I know it's kind of long, so I'll go ahead and post the link in there. But
I was going to say, read it out loud. Go ahead. Come on, Jim.
Okay, Mitchell's book, Amazon.com, DP, blah, blah, blah. No.
Yeah.
Aaron Wexler sends out a big old thanks to you, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I think credibility is absolutely necessary in this day and age. As I said before, there's a lot of noise in the world. People have the option, because the internet has made the world so much smaller, to easily get their products or services that they need from the person or people or company or place that they feel the best or most comfortable, because there's so many choices out there these days. So you have to be authentic. You have to be real. You have to be credible.
Thumbs up.
How do people get in touch with you?
So the best way is it's my name. So it's MitchellLevy360.com. So MITCHELLLEVY 360.com. One of the things that happen, you'll be introduced immediately to the LinkedIn course. So you could see that. You could look at, thanks for the question, a bunch of customer testimonials. And if something resonated with you, if you say, oh my God, I need a book, you can book time directly on my calendar, and I'm happy to have a conversation. So that's MitchellLevy360.com.
That's right. And you'll talk to them for about 10 hours. Their participation is about 10 hours. Is this correct?
Oh, to get a book, we're tight on time. Do you want, can I get, I need about 30 seconds.
Explain it. Yeah.
Okay. So here's what happens in the book process is, first, we need to come up with your title and table of contents. I need about an hour for that. Typically, the title of your book is your CPOP. It's that customer point of pain. When I did this book, my CPOP was being seen and being heard as a thought leader. So that was the title of my book. The new book, Humans That Want to Be Seen as Credible, I'm just calling it Credibility Nation. Once we have the title and table of contents, I'm deploying one of my superpowers. And that is pulling the genius from somebody's head. We have a 3-hour conversation. I have to tell you, it's the favorite time of everything I do is spending 3 hours with somebody talking about them. It is so powerful, so beautiful. My ghostwriters typically fall in love with the authors they're writing about, because it is a very intimate conversation. It is not simple, because I need to pull out your genius of who you are and what you do in terms of solving your CPOP. After that, that's 4 hours. I need about another 6 hours back and forth where, you give us ideas for the cover. We have pictures inside of our book. We're running, for those that are interested, we have an Amazon campaign right now on this book, Hire Smarter, Sell More. And so if you go to that book, you can see it. What happens, we have color on the inside. We also do 10 video testimonials. So this is a QR code that points to a video of the author talking about the book. We put the book in aha messages. So there's 140 aha messages. So now if you want social media content, you read an aha message, you hold up a video camera, and you talk about it. We can't do this in 4 months, but once we publish, we let you talk to our audio guy and you record your Audible version. So 7 months down the road, somebody types your CPOP in Amazon and they see your Kindle paperback hardcover and Audible version. There is nothing like it. So that is, it takes a little more time to read your audio book, right? But for 10 hours to get your book done, I think it's about 3 hours to read your audio book. 3 hours to read your book. You now have a piece of credibility that sits on Amazon and is distributed in bookstores around the world. In their database, not physically in the bookstore, just to be clear. And what happens is you've spent 10 hours or 13 hours. You've saved 310 hours that you're going to do in the appropriate thing, and that is you're going to use it to help build and close more business.
You're gonna do a bunch of social media videos.
Right. Well,
142 or so.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's what you said about the book. It is so powerful because it's not a memoir of who you were. It's in some cases not exactly who you are today. It is how you serve your audience tomorrow. Because that's what a book is used for. A book is used to show people a blueprint of who you are, and if they worked with you, who they can become.
I love it. Well, Aaron said he just bought your book. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
And Aaron is a good guy. He's a good guy. And he's another one of those guys that takes charge. And when he does something, he does it. So I'm glad he was able to connect. And Aaron, you're going to absolutely love it. It's going to put you in a much better position. Not that you're not already in a good position. It's really going to raise your game. Mitchell is one of a kind. He's fantastic. Mitchell, is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap up today?
It's a great question. Given who you are and what you do, and given where we are in the world today, we were forced, the entire world was forced to take a time out. And in that time out, many people said that they don't like the life that was crafted, are you ready, for them as a direct result of how the industrial age says we should be living our lives. So I want to say, why wait for somebody to fix it? This is your opportunity. Find the stuff you're passionate about. And if you could tie the stuff you're passionate about to opportunities where other people have that passion, but don't do it themselves, well, that's a great opportunity that you can figure out how you can do something that you're passionate about, you love doing, you have expertise in, and you can do it for other people and get paid for it. So what's the first thing you do? Find that person who needs your service and offer to do it for free. And there's one cost. The cost is they give you a video testimonial. Take that video testimonial, go to the next person and say, listen, I don't know what I want to charge. Why don't we figure out what that is together? Take those next 2 video testimonials and start running a business. And so it is up to you to figure out where your passion lies, who you are, what you can do, how you could be successful, and take charge of your life and be proactive about it. Because don't wait for somebody else. Do it yourself. We live in the opportunity where you can do anything essentially you want. So let's do stuff that's fun, that adds value to the world.
I love it. Aaron says, love this guy. Thanks, Mitchell.
You're welcome. Thanks.
That pretty much sums it up. Okay, we're done.
Thanks, Aaron. You're pretty cool, man. I appreciate the feedback.
Well, I want to say thank you, Mitchell, for taking your time. It's just been fantastic. Just being able to be on the other side and be a recipient of receiving some of your amazing wisdom. And I just really appreciate you as a human being and everything that you do, the impact you've made in this world. I am confident is going to be known for years and decades and generations to come. That's
I'm actually saying, Jamie, the stuff I'm doing now, we'll talk about next, is going to affect the world and billions of people. And I'm happy to figure out a great way that you and I play together as well. And so I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun. It is going to be a lot of fun. If you can, hold on one quick second, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this particular episode. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Thank you to Mitchell Levy. Unbelievable. I hope that you learn a lot from this. Again, if you don't have, if you're catching this on the replay and you really want to get in touch with Mitchell, you see all of his contact information. However, if you have a question, please post it in the comments and I will definitely make sure to forward that along to Mitchell. Thank you again for tuning in. And you can see why Mitchell Levy can help you stop the bottleneck in your business. My name is Jamie J. I am the CEO and founder of Bottleneck Virtual Assistants, and this has been another episode of Live with Bottleneck. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon here with me, or whenever you're watching this. I really appreciate it, and we really appreciate it. And don't forget, make your own ripple. life.